Supreme Commander Du-hyun stood at the large window of his command ship, looking out at the stars. His black uniform was perfect, without a single wrinkle. He had waited many years for this moment. On the screen before him was a blue planet called Earth. "Commander, the final reports are ready," said Jae-yun, walking into the room with her datapad. Her white science uniform made her stand out among the military officers. She was the best scientist in the Confederation, but even she looked worried today. Do-hyun turned around slowly. "Tell me what you found about this Earth." Jae-yun touched her screen, and large images of Earth appeared on the main display. The planet has about 8 billion humans. They have basic space travel, but only within their solar system. Their weapons are simple. They still use chemical explosives and haven't discovered energy shields. "Perfect," Do-hyun said, smiling. "An easy target for our forces." "Sir," Jae-yun said carefully, "there's something strange in the data. The humans show unusual patterns in their behavior. They can be extremely peaceful one moment and very aggressive the next. Our computers can't predict their actions well." Do-hyun laughed. "They're primitives, Jae-yun. What can they do against our ships? Against our weapons?" He walked to his desk and pressed a button. "Fleet Commander Hae-jun, come to my office." Hae-jun arrived quickly. He was younger than Do-hyun, but had proven himself in many battles. His gray uniform showed his rank as Fleet Commander. "You called for me, Supreme Commander?" Hae-jun asked, standing straight. "Yes," Do-hyun said, pointing to the image of Earth. "This is your next target. A rich planet with valuable resources. The natives are weak. They don't even have proper space defenses." Jae-yun stepped forward. "Sir, please, let me study their behavior more. Something about their warfare history doesn't make sense. They fight differently from any species we've seen." "Different how?" Hae-jun asked, looking interested. "They adapt very quickly. And Jae-yun checked her notes. "They sometimes pretend to be weaker than they are. They let enemies think they're winning, then strike back harder." Do-hyun waved his hand. "Enough. They don't have energy shields. They don't have plasma weapons. Their ships can barely reach their own moon. What could they possibly do?" Hae-jun nodded. "I agree, sir. This will be an easy victory for the Confederation." "Sir," Jae-yun tried one last time. "At least let me send probes to study them more. Their entertainment videos show they've thought about alien invasions many times. They might have plans." "Plans?" Do-hyun laughed again. "Plans without technology are useless. Hae-jun, prepare your fleet. We attack in 10 days. "Yes, sir," Hae-jun said, smiling confidently. "How many ships should I take?" Do-hyun looked at Earth's image again. "Take 50 ships, more than enough for such a primitive world." Jae-yun watched them make their plans, feeling very worried. She had studied many species, but humans were different. In their history, she had found something troubling. They were kindest to friends and most dangerous to enemies who underestimated them. As she left the room, she heard Hae-jun and Do-hyun talking about where to build their bases on Earth. She looked back at the blue planet on the screen and whispered to herself, "I hope I'm wrong about them." But in her heart, she knew she wasn't wrong. The Confederation was about to make a very big mistake. Fleet Commander Hae-jun watched with pride as his ships entered Earth's atmosphere. The humans' primitive radar systems had detected them, but it didn't matter. Their weapons couldn't even scratch the Confederation's shields. "Begin the first phase," Hae-jun ordered from his command chair. "Target their military bases exactly as planned." Bright beams of light shot down from the Confederation ships. On the screens, Earth's military bases exploded one after another. Their missiles rose up to meet the alien ships, but they merely burst against the energy shields like tiny fireworks. "Sir," his second-in-command reported, "the humans are trying to communicate with us." "Ignore them," Hae-jun said. "Continue the attack." Back on the command ship, Supreme Commander Du Hyun received the first reports with satisfaction. You see, Jai-yun, their strongest weapons are useless against us. Jai-yun stood quietly, watching the data flow across her screen. The humans were losing badly, but something felt wrong. They were falling back too quickly, too organized. It was like they had practiced this. Hejun's voice came through the communication system. Supreme Commander, Phase 1 is complete. All major military installations are destroyed. Our losses are 0. Excellent, Du Hyun said. Begin Phase 2. Take their cities. The Confederation ships spread out across Earth. They expected panic, chaos, and surrender. Instead, they found empty cities. Millions of humans had disappeared underground. Sir, Jai-yun said, pointing to her screen, the humans are following prepared evacuation plans. They're not running in panic. They're following orders. So what? Du Hyun replied. Let them hide. They can't stay underground forever. Start building our bases in their empty cities. Over the next week, the Confederation set up their command centers. They brought in their best technology, their strongest weapons. Everything went perfectly according to plan. Hejun landed on Earth to inspect the new bases himself. He walked through an empty human city, feeling proud. These buildings are primitive, but they'll be useful for now, he told his officers. Start bringing in our colonists. In her laboratory on the command ship, Jai-yun studied the human communications they had intercepted. Most were what she expected: calls for help, emergency broadcasts, military orders. But some were strange. Some humans were sending messages that seemed too calm, too organized. She took her findings to Du Hyun. Sir, look at this. The humans are sharing information about our ships, our weapons, our shields. They're studying us. Of course they are, Du Hyun said. Primitive species always study their superiors. It changes nothing. But Jai-yun wasn't convinced. In all her years studying other species, she had never seen one respond to defeat like this. The humans were watching, learning, and waiting. But waiting for what? On Earth, Hejun received more good news. His forces had taken control of all major cities with no resistance. The humans were either hiding or surrendering quietly. Mission accomplished, he reported to Du Hyun. Earth is ours. The easiest victory in Confederation history. Du Hyun smiled at these words, but behind him, Jai-yun looked at her latest data and felt cold. Because now she understood what was different about humans. Other species fought until they couldn't win. But humans fought differently. They were willing to lose many battles if it helped them win the war. As the Confederation celebrated their victory, deep underground, humanity was preparing. And they weren't preparing to surrender. They were preparing to teach the aliens a lesson about Earth that they would never forget. 3 months had passed since the Confederation took Earth. Base Commander Taiwan sat at his desk, reading another strange report. A supply ship had vanished without any trace. This was the 5th one this month. Commander, his assistant entered the room. We lost contact with Base 7 again. Taiwan looked up from his screen. Again, what's wrong with their communication system? We don't know, sir. The engineers say everything looks fine. Then it just stops working. In her laboratory, lead researcher Yeonji was making an important discovery. She studied the broken pieces of Confederation equipment from several bases. The damage was not normal wear and tear. Someone had changed these machines from the inside. She called Jai-yun immediately. You need to see this, Yeonji said, showing her the damaged parts. The humans aren't just studying our technology. They're learning how it works. Jai-yun picked up one of the broken pieces. How fast are they learning? Too fast, Yeonji replied. No species we've ever conquered has understood our technology this quickly. On Earth, Fleet Commander Hejun was becoming angry. More reports of problems came in every day. Equipment failing, ships disappearing, strange noises in the night around their bases. but they never found any humans nearby. "This is nothing to worry about," Hejun told his officers. "Earth is under our control. These are just small problems." But Base Commander Taiwan disagreed. He ordered his men to build stronger walls around their base. He put more guards on duty at night. He checked every piece of equipment twice. "Sir," one of his guards reported, "we found this near the power generators." He held up a small device made from Confederation parts, but changed in ways they didn't understand. Taiwan called an emergency meeting with his top officers. "The humans are planning something. We need to be ready." Hejun heard about the meeting and called Taiwan immediately. "You're causing unnecessary worry," he said angrily. "The humans are primitive. They can't threaten us." But that same night, Base 3 lost all power. When they checked their generators, they found all the critical parts missing. No alarms had gone off. No guards had seen anything. Jai Yun and Yanji worked together to study the pattern of problems. They found something that scared them. Every time Confederation forces fixed one problem, a new one appeared somewhere else. The humans were testing them, learning from each try. Supreme Commander Jai Yun reported to Du Hyun, "The humans are more dangerous than we thought. They're not just hiding. They're preparing." "Preparing for what?" Du Hyun asked. "Their weapons can't hurt us." "Their old weapons couldn't hurt us," Yanji corrected him. "But they're building new ones, using our own technology against us." That night, as the Confederation leaders argued about what to do, something changed. All the small problems, all the strange incidents, had been leading to this moment. Deep underground, human engineers finished their work on a new weapon. They had spent 3 months learning about Confederation technology. Now they were ready to show the aliens what humans could really do. Taiwan stood at his base's window, watching the dark sky. He had ordered extra patrols tonight. He had checked every security system twice. But somehow, he knew it wouldn't be enough. Because after 3 months of studying their enemy, humanity was done being nice. Engineer Min Seo walked quickly through the Confederation base's halls. She carried important news that would change everything. The humans had finally shown their true power, and it was worse than anyone had imagined. "Supreme Commander," she said, entering Do Hyun's office, "the humans have broken through our shields." Do Hyun stood up from his chair. "That's impossible. Our shield technology is too advanced for them." "They didn't break the shields with force," Min Seo explained. "They changed how the shields work. They turned our own technology against us." At that moment, alarms started ringing throughout the base. On the main screen, they watched as human forces attacked Base 7. The Confederation's shields flickered and died. The humans used weapons that looked like a mix of their old technology and Confederation designs. Hejun's voice came through the communication system. "Supreme Commander, the humans, they're everywhere. They're using our own weapons, but better. They've made them stronger." Jai Yun and Yanji rushed into the office with more bad news. "Sir," Jai Yun said, "we found out what they were doing these past 6 months. They weren't just hiding. They were studying us, learning everything about how we fight." "They spread stories among our troops," Yanji added. "Stories about human warfare, about what happens to those who invade Earth. Our soldiers are scared. They've heard too many stories about human victory against stronger enemies." Do Hyun watched the screens as more bases reported attacks. The humans moved like they knew exactly where to strike. They had studied Confederation tactics and found every weakness. "How?" Do Hyun asked. "How did they learn so much so quickly?" "They work together in ways we've never seen," Min Seo explained. "When one human learns something, they share it with everyone. While we kept our forces separated in different bases, they were all working together underground." The attacks continued through the night. The Confederation's superior technology didn't help anymore. The humans had taken that advantage away. They had watched, learned, and improved everything they saw. Base Commander Taiwan's voice crackled through the communication system. "Sir, they've surrounded my base. Their weapons, they're using modified Confederation technology. But it's different. Better. They've found ways to use it that we never thought of." Hejun tried to organize a counterattack, but the humans were ready. They knew Confederation battle plans better than some of the Confederation's own officers. They had spent 6 months preparing for this moment. "Sir," Jai Yun said quietly, "I understand now. The humans were never primitive. They were patient. They let us think we were winning while they learned everything about us. Every small problem, every missing ship, every broken machine. They were testing us, learning our responses." Do Hyun stood at his window, watching Earth's sky fill with ships. But now they weren't Confederation ships. They were human ships, built with a mix of their technology and Confederation designs. "Send a message to all bases," Do Hyun ordered. "Tell them." He stopped as the base's lights flickered. The humans had begun their attack on the main command center. The Confederation was about to learn why so many of Earth's stories warned about making humans angry. Commander Sang-hoon of Earth's United Forces stood in the captured Confederation base. The alien technology hummed around him, now controlled by human operators. 6 months of careful study had led to this moment. "All units report ready," his communications officer said. "The Confederation forces are falling back exactly as predicted." In space, Hejun watched with horror as more of his ships went dark. The humans had learned how to disable Confederation technology from a distance. His mighty fleet was now running from an enemy they had once thought primitive. "Fall back to defensive positions," Hejun ordered, but he knew the humans would be waiting. They had studied every Confederation battle plan, every standard response. On the main Confederation command ship, Do Hyun received increasingly desperate messages. Base after base reported the same thing. The humans knew their weaknesses too well. They struck quickly, disabled the Confederation's advanced technology, then overwhelmed them with superior numbers. "Sir," Jai Yun reported, studying her screens, "the humans are using a new fighting style. They combine their old military tactics with our technology. We don't have any defense against it." Yunji added more bad news. "The human commander, Sang-hoon, is leading attacks across all continents at once. They're using our own communication systems to coordinate their forces." In his captured base, Sang-hoon reviewed the battle plans. The Confederation had made a serious mistake. They thought humanity's old weapons and tactics were primitive. They didn't understand that humans had been practicing war for thousands of years. "The northern bases are captured," an officer reported to Sang-hoon. "Their shields failed exactly as our engineers predicted." The Confederation's remaining forces tried to regroup, but the humans had learned too much. They knew how Confederation ships communicated. They understood how their weapons worked. Most importantly, they knew how Confederation commanders thought. "Sir," Hejun's voice shook as he reported to Do Hyun, "we've lost contact with half our fleet. The humans, they're not fighting like primitives anymore. They're fighting like experts using our own technology." Base Commander Taiwan made a difficult decision. He looked at the human forces surrounding his base, using modified Confederation weapons with deadly skill. "I surrender." He sent the message to both sides. "The humans understand warfare better than we do." Do Hyun couldn't believe how quickly everything had changed. In just one day, the humans had taken back half their planet. The Confederation's superior technology meant nothing now. The humans had studied it, improved it, and turned it against them. "Send reinforcements to Earth," Do Hyun ordered. But even as he spoke, he knew it was too late. The humans had spent 6 months preparing while the Confederation celebrated their easy victory. Sang-hoon's forces moved with precision and confidence. They had trained for this day while pretending to hide in fear. Now they showed the Confederation why Earth's history was full of stories about human victory against stronger enemies. "The humans aren't just fighting us," Jai Yun realized, watching the battles unfold. "They're teaching us a lesson about why it's dangerous to think you're superior just because you have better technology." The Confederation was learning this lesson the hard way. They had thought humans were primitive because they didn't have advanced technology. Now they understood their mistake. Technology wasn't everything. Experience, determination, and careful planning mattered more. And humans had thousands of years of experience in warfare. Supreme Commander Du Hyun received the transmission in his private office. The human leader wanted to talk. After 3 days of losing battles across Earth, Du Hyun had no choice but to listen. Commander Sang-hoon's face appeared on the screen. He sat in what used to be a Confederation command center, now controlled by humans. Supreme Commander, he said calmly, we need to discuss the future. What do you want? Du Hyun asked, trying to hide his anger. First, you should know something, Sang-hoon replied. We could have fought back immediately when you arrived. We chose not to. The words hit Du Hyun like a physical blow. What do you mean? Jae-yun and Yeon-jae entered the office just then, carrying new reports. They stopped to listen as Sang-hoon continued speaking. 6 months ago, when your ships appeared, we were ready, Sang-hoon explained. We had planned for alien invasion for many years, but we saw an opportunity to learn from you instead. On the screen behind Sang-hoon, images appeared showing human facilities hidden deep underground. They had huge factories, training centers, and research labs. All of them had been ready before the Confederation arrived. Impossible, Du Hyun whispered. Your scientist, Jae-yun, was right about us, Sang-hoon said. Humans are different from other species you've conquered. We learn from our enemies. We adapt. We improve. Jae-yun stepped forward. You let us think we were winning. All those months of small problems and missing ships were tests. Sang-hoon finished her sentence. We studied how you responded, how your technology worked, how your commanders thought. Every time something broke, we learned more about fixing it. Every time a ship disappeared, we learned more about building our own. Du Hyun remembered how easily the humans had disabled their shields, how quickly they had learned to use Confederation weapons. It all made sense now. But why wait? He asked. Why not fight back immediately? Sang-hoon smiled. Because now we don't just defeat you. We understand you. We can use your technology better than you can. We learned everything about how the Confederation fights. At that moment, Base Commander Tadawon requested to join the transmission. He stood with the humans now. Supreme Commander, they don't think like us. They don't just want to win battles. They want to understand their enemies completely. Reports kept coming in from across Earth. More Confederation bases had fallen. More ships had been disabled by human weapons. They had taken the Confederation's best technology and made it better. Your mistake, Sang-hoon said, was thinking that primitive technology meant primitive minds. Humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We learned long ago that the smartest warrior studies their enemy before striking. Du Hyun looked at the reports of his defeated forces, his lost bases, his failed invasion. What do you want from us now? He asked quietly. That's the interesting part, Sang-hoon replied. We want to talk about peace. Real peace. Not surrender, not conquest. Something new. The Confederation leaders had never expected this. They had come to conquer a primitive world. Instead, they had found something they had never seen before. A species that could not only match their power but exceed it. Jae-yun stood before the Galactic Council, ready to give her final report. The Great Hall was silent as leaders from every Confederation world waited to hear about Earth. The events of the past year had changed everything they thought they knew about conquest and civilization. Honored Council, Jae-yun began. I stand here to report on our greatest mistake and our most important lesson. She touched her screen, and images of Earth appeared in the air. They showed humans working side by side with Confederation scientists, sharing knowledge and building new things together. 1 year ago, we thought we had found an easy target, she continued. We were wrong. The humans weren't primitive. They were patient. They weren't weak. They were wise. In his office on Earth, Commander Sang-hoon met with Supreme Commander Do-hyun. They weren't enemies anymore. They were partners in something new. "The trade agreement is working well," Sang-hoon said. "Your ships are faster now with our improvements. Our cities are cleaner with your technology." Do-hyun nodded. "And our soldiers are stronger with your training methods. Who would have thought we had so much to learn from Earth?" Back in the council chamber, Jae-yun showed recordings of the war. "The humans could have fought us immediately," she explained. "Instead, they chose to learn. They studied our strengths. They improved our technology. They showed us a better way." The council members watched as images showed new ships built by humans and Confederation engineers working together. They were faster and stronger than anything the Confederation had built before. But the most important lesson, Jae-yun said, wasn't about technology. It was about understanding. The humans taught us that true strength isn't just about having powerful weapons. It's about knowing when to use them and when to find a better way. Engineer Min Seo, who now worked with human scientists, had made an important discovery. Human creativity combined with Confederation technology was creating things neither side could have made alone. "The humans have a saying," Jae-yun told the council. "They say that peace is better than war, but you must be ready for war to keep peace." They spent thousands of years learning this lesson. Now they have taught it to us. The council chamber was quiet as Jae-yun showed the final images. Earth was no longer just one planet. It had become the center of something new, a place where Confederation ships came to trade, to learn, and to grow stronger together. "We went to Earth thinking we were superior," Jae-yun concluded. "We learned that true superiority isn't about having better weapons or stronger shields. It's about being willing to learn, to change, and to work together." In Earth's orbit, Taiwan watched from the window of a new space station. Human and Confederation ships moved peacefully together through space. Engineers from both sides worked to build something that had never existed before, a true partnership between worlds. The humans had a choice. Jae-yun told the council in her final words. "They could have destroyed us when we were weak. Instead, they chose to teach us. They showed us that the strongest weapon isn't technology or power. It's the wisdom to know when not to use them." The council voted unanimously that day. Earth would not join the Confederation as a conquered world. Instead, they would help lead it into a new future. A future where strength meant more than just having the biggest weapons. It meant having the wisdom to use them wisely.